G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back of course to the Time Bomb channel. Hope all is good in your part of the world. Got a couple of watches in here today that I'm going to work on a little bit. Before starting, I wanted to dedicate this video to a couple of friends of mine. One spent a bit of time over in Afghan, and well, as usually happens when you violently shake a bottle of fizzy pop and start to open it, yeah, it kind of goes off. The other has just been dragged down by work and is fighting to get off the hamster wheel at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I know my friends' lives are none of your concern, so apologies for bringing it up here on the channel. I do so, though, however, as a kind of a request to consider, let's consider people around us a little more. I look around today at the way people drive, the way they interact in shops, and then worse at work. Respect, dignity seems to have been replaced by narcissism and protected characteristics. More people need to think about what they're going to do when the man comes around. Combat Stress over here is a UK example of a charity that works with the veteran community. And again, if there's any way that you can consider helping them through events, etc., or other ways, or in other parts of things, activities around the world, please do give that one a thought. A far simpler fix, of course, are the watches that we have in here today. They're in need of a little bit of TLC. This first one, let me just zoom in there a fraction. This first one wasn't particularly in need of any TLC because it was very happy as it was. I'm losing the focus here. Yeah, sorry about that. Just losing the focus there a little bit. So yeah, as I was saying, so it doesn't need much of an introduction, doesn't need much of a mod. I know that some people have done oil fills on these things. What I've done though is I've upgraded the strap. Previously I'd been wearing it on this one here, which is from Maritac County Com. And I really liked it because it's very comfortable in the summer months, because it's got the holes are really nice together on the tang there. It means that you can get a super comfortable fit. One of the issues that I have, same thing with belts and wristwatches, is the spacings there are too far apart, and therefore it's really tough to get a nice fit. Really like this one. Plenty of venting, worked well. But one of huge thanks to one of our channel subscribers. He recommended this upgrading the strappage to some steel. He's done with this with some of his watches as well, and suggested that I consider doing the same. It came at a sniffle of a price. I think it was £8 and 4p, as you can see on screen. Probably about the same amount of money that Casio spends on all of their cheap ass steel straps. And, yeah, it does make me chuckle though that the guys there who made this one really didn't give a monkeys about copyright and brand name theft. But perhaps I'm the one that should be ashamed as I bought it. So for that price, yeah, I'm not expecting the steel to be amazing. You see, we've got fairly rudimentary stuff going on here. The tolerances are not very tight on this, but again, as I say, that's $8. That's less than $10. So yeah, just try to measure expectations, and certainly while it doesn't, let me just throw it on wrist to show you, because I don't think it elevates the value of the MDV in any way, shape or form. But what it does do on steel, I think, is just make the watch appear a fraction more grown up. And I say, nice to have that little marlin on the bottom there, even if it is, yeah, it probably shouldn't really be there. As I say, just a way to upgrade that little watch. All right, so then next we have the Rangeman. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I picked this one up on Amazon. It was supposed to be used good. I think it was from their warehouse or something like that, but I think they've made a monstrous mistake, because I cannot see a single mark on here. And yeah, it's blooming stunning. It's really is very nicely. Yeah, it's in almost perfect condition. I think I might be able to sell the bezel and strap as nearly new on Fleabay. So I've gone with a matte green here in tribute to our Combat Stress guys. And let me just pop that out of the packet. Appreciate perhaps that the, sorry, it's a bit noisy. Appreciate perhaps that the green might be a little bit of a clash with the red framing on the ABC button here, but I'm pretty okay with that. I think, yeah, it might clash a little bit, But anyway, let's crack on. So the first thing that I wanted to reference for you is that don't be fooled by the screws on the front. Those are just there to amuse you, and there'll be more on that a little bit later on. I'll pop them out to show you. You can get different coloured stud screws for these, and I may end up going with black ones just to match the black font on the bezel. But when I get them in, I'll show you what that looks like. I think as well, the other thing to bear in mind here is certainly don't lose your sensor protector, as otherwise it's a great place for dust and muck to get into the watch. I still think that these old Rangemans are one of the best G-Shocks that Casio ever gave us, and I'm still not convinced that this newer version is that much better. I think as well that all dressed up in its new glad rags, this new Rangeman is going to look very, very cool, and also way better and so much easier to read than the green and negative display version that Casio released. Yes, it is easier to repair and refresh watches, and not so easy with us humans, but I'm internally hopeful that those that suffer can recover. Massive thanks, as always, for your time and for your view. And before we go, I'll leave you with the words of the late, great Johnny Cash. And yes, I know he modded the words a little bit to this song, but every time I hear it, it still makes the hairs on my arms stand up. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts, and I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death, and hell followed with him. Yeah, so as you can see, there's pretty much the finished product. We've got, so let me just pop it back onto time. So you can see it does clash a little bit there. That red is not ideal, and the black and the red underneath. Yeah, again, it's not an absolutely perfect mesh of colours and everything like that, but I don't care. I think it adds something a little bit different. Now, onto those screw studs. I also wanted to point out, if you ever wondered what to do with your old morphine containers, they are fantastic for keeping small tools in, just in case you were wondering. So yeah, so these annoying little things here, yes, I can, sorry, trying to do this through a camera is not the best way to do things, but I'm sure if you guys are working at home, you're not doing that. So essentially, these things spin around. They don't do anything at all. They're one of Casio's, what should we call it, corner cutting exercises. So essentially, you've kind of got to just push them out, ease them out. So as you can see, just in the back there, you can see that it's not actually engaged to anything, and you can just get the end of your screwdriver in there and leverage it out a little bit. Let me just try that. Okay, so there we have all of these out. Now, if possible, I would suggest, you know, as much as possible pushing from the other side, but I was really struggling today because the bezel is so stiff because it's brand new almost. And of course, the slight danger of scooping these things out is that you might end up marking that bezel up a little bit. If that's a concern to you, bear that one in mind. And another option, of course, is to put these screws in before you reaffix the bezel. So yeah, really your way, your preference. I don't know if there's specifically a right or a wrong way of doing it, or maybe somebody will tell me. So, oh my God, what a pig's ear you've made of that, man! Should have done it the other way around, dude. Yeah, that's it. Probably, I think the most important thing is to don't try to do this looking through a phone camera, because then your viz is absurdly restricted. I'm still waiting for somebody to give me some ideas on setting up the camera rig so it's peering right down, bird's eye view down onto the table. So yeah, extra points and prizes for somebody who can suggest a good way to do that. Just using a screwdriver here just to depress them. Just to see, make sure they've gone all the way down. They're not going to pop out by themselves, but yeah, just make them a little squidgy push down there, just to make sure 100%. As I say, I may end up getting some black ones, just to sort of, you know, give it a little bit of color contrast and match with the black font here and here. But we'll see how we go with that one. All right, guys. Ta-da! And then on wrist. It looks like on wrist, it looks like that. So you can see that it's a mod. There's no way to hide that black and green combo, but I don't think it looks half bad. And again, hats off to Combat Stress, hats off to all the people that they help, hats off to anybody and everybody else that's fighting the good fight out there. All right, guys, catch you all in the next video.